Alrighty guys, it is Qaaman here today bringing you another Q&A segment. But I am not alone as I am joined with...
Beautiful friends from across the world, it's your friendly neighborhood Gerald, not Harold. This is zombie copyright infringement. Thank you for letting me join you today, qaamansland. Yeah!
Yes guys, I'm joined with Jaxblade, and we were actually talking on Skype, just actually having a good time talking about doing some remixes about Dragon Ball. We were kind of reminiscing a lot of the old moments of the Dragon Ball series, and I was like, you know what, Jordan, why don't I bring you on for the Q&A? So without wasting any more time, let's get straight into this video. As we're going to be doing an extended Q&A today, as I want to test out this whole 2-week thing versus 1 week, where I give you a much longer Q&A. So the first question comes in from Duct Tape. Oh boy, let's see what he wants to say. If you could do one thing to make Dragon Ball better, what would it be? That's actually a good question. Wow, he didn't say something about Piccolo or Chopsticks, Jordan.
I know, right?
Wow, this is very surprising. Alright, so if I had to do one thing about Dragon Ball to make it better, I'm not going to be biased to Piccolo, so if anybody's wondering, I would try to make the other characters more useful. I think I've said this at least 600 times on my channel, but I think I should say it again. Dragon Ball has pretty much turned into Digimon Season 4. It was 4, if I remember correctly. Like, I always confuse between 3 and 4. And for those of you who don't know, Digimon Season 4 was pretty much... Jordan, I'm correct with Season 4, right?
Well, Season 4 is when they became the Digimon.
Yes, okay.
When they were
yeah, I always confuse 3 and 4. But the point I'm trying to say is that's pretty much a series where Takuya and Koji, at some point of Digimon Season 4... they became so much stronger that the others were pretty much reduced to just making them stronger. And they were kind of obsolete themselves because they just, like, Takuya and Koji were just so much stronger than all of them. And then eventually, Koji had a little brother that eventually came into the story too, Leo Man or whatever like that. And the point I'm trying to say here is, the problem is that Dragon Ball just needs to get a lot more characters involved that make the series more fun. What do you say, Jordan?
Okay, well, I've always said this before, like, I completely agree with you. I think the human characters are just such, like, a wasted opportunity, because if you take the human characters, they will literally be legit final bosses in most other anime series. Like, they literally would be One Punch Men and so many different anime series if you, like, watch them, like, because at this point, blowing up a planet is casual. And so, like, that's, like, a massive feat in another series, but in this series is no. So I would really like them to have, like, a supreme power-up, or find something like Master the Kaioken, or do something that just makes them relevant again. And then, of course, I would really love if they brought back the martial arts aspect of Dragon Ball, because Dragon Ball had, like, a really great fight choreography, but Dragon Ball Z just turned into rapid fire punching and kicking, blast here, blast there, power up, stare, charge, flashback, on the next episode of Dragon Ball Z. And I would really like if they could do something to, make the other characters valid again, because it's just become the Goku and Vegeta show.
Yeah, and Dragon Ball GT was pretty much the Goku's time show. Alright, so we're moving on here to Marcus. He says, how are you enjoying Hunter x Hunter, and what do you think of the artwork in the manga? I think it's great. As a matter of fact, I've read the first 4 volumes of the Hunter x Hunter manga. I'm going to collect the whole thing, and I'm actually currently on episode 31 of the actual anime. What do you think of Hunter x Hunter, Jordan?
Dude, I think Hunter x Hunter is just beautiful. Like, that is a show that it's so... This is one of those things where I always say I'm envious of Hunter x Hunter, because Madhouse, they're the people who did not only Hunter x Hunter, but they did Hajime no Ippo, a boxing anime, and they did the, One Punch Man, very popular last year. And they took their time to make 140 episodes all look spectacular, and it was just... I'm so envious that Dragon Ball Z can't look like that, because it's just like, oh my god, if Dragon Ball Z looked like this, everyone would be saying it's still like the king of like anime and all that jazz. But I think Hunter x Hunter is phenomenal. The story's great, and me and you are both colossal fans of Yu Yu Hakusho, and since it's by the same person, it's just a great thing. I love Hunter x Hunter, man.
Can't disagree there. Alright, so let's move down here to Basher Rico, who says, if you could become the writer of Dragon Ball Super, what are you going to change for the series and for Piccolo, for Piccolo's character? If I was the Dragon Ball Super writer, I mean, okay, like I said, I'm trying to be unbiased here, because although obviously Piccolo's my favorite character, I'm not going to just make him completely irrelevant, because in terms of power, he just can't compete up with the Saiyans. That's just reality. What I would try to do, though, is I would try to make the other characters more involved in the arcs. So for example, even if Goku and Vegeta are the strongest characters, they don't always have to be involved in doing something. So for example, let's say you had an arc, right, that and this is all hypothetical. Let's use the Resurrection F because this is the closest we've gotten to this. So let's say you had Frieza, and then you had like I guess you could say a henchman of Frieza who's almost as strong as what Frieza is, right? So in that case, Goku and Vegeta would pretty much be fighting against Frieza and Frieza's top henchman. So Goku and Vegeta would pretty much be fighting against those two guys. And in the meantime, let's say they had like a Ginyu force of like maybe 4 or 5 guys who were even weaker than those two. But, you know, enough that it would challenge Piccolo and Gohan and Gotenks and all these other characters. I think that would make it a lot funner because even if they're weaker, they can still be relevant in terms of trying to make a difference. You know, the thing with Resurrection Earth is that they attempted to make the other characters fight, which I commend them for doing. It's just that you just don't get a feeling when you see them fighting Frieza soldiers. If they put like an elite force to fight against them, that would be good. For this future Trunks arc, though, I don't think you could possibly write it in. I mean, Master Roshi taught Goku the Mafuba, and Piccolo or Tien could have taught him too, but really, let's just be honest. Black and Zamasu are just way too strong for the other guys. There's no way that would really be irrelevant. What do you say, Jordan?
I completely agree with you. Like, everything you just said, like, if you become a writer for Dragon Ball Super, all the stuff, again, like I mentioned earlier, I would love to see that. But it's just, first of all, I would just like to go and say, all right, well, can we try and fix stuff up? Like, can we try and say, all right, this right here is clearly a plot hole. Can we address it and try and fix it? Because otherwise, it just makes no sense. If like someone is marathoning Dragon Ball Z, then get to Super, they can easily go back and just say, well, that doesn't make sense with that, or that doesn't make sense with that. So I would just try to fix up all those little plot holes if I ever became a writer for it, or like try to acknowledge them to the fact of like where it's, oh yeah, that did happen, but so and so is why it happened, and that's why we're able to do that now, or something like that.
Right. All right, so let's move down here so we could give more people a shot. Tomato Ninja says, have you heard of anything about the rumors of Broly having a son? Thoughts on that? No, I never heard of it. You see, okay.
What do you think you're doing, boy?
You guys, I know it sounds random. I know it sounds like we're just randomly laughing, but the thing with me and Jordan is that we were just recently watching some YouTube clips. Jordan, I can't do this, bro. You explain.
No, it's just okay. So, all right, me and Quinn, we were watching Broly Legendary Super Saiyan, and then you know the scene where Paragus is trying to escape in a space pod by himself. Broly just walks up to him, and with like this sarcastic confidence, he just comes up and he's like, "Where do you think you're going, Dad?" And then like Paragus has this look of terror, just like, oh my god, and he tries to lie.
I'm preparing the rocket so we can escape the explosion.
In a rocket built for one person, and then he just grabs it and freaking crushes it. So it's just like I can imagine Broly doing this with his son, like, where do you think you're going, boy? Dad, I was just trying to go over Pan's house. In a condom built for one person.
Okay, alright, Tomato Ninja, in all fairness to you, I know we got a little distracted. It's just that when you said that question, I just visualized that look on Broly's face. He had like that Negan from Walking Dead smile with like his face in the reflection of Paragus' ship. And it's just so funny because Paragus went from looking so calm. He was so fucking calm, getting ready to explode, and as soon as Broly showed up,
yeah, he just had that. Looks like we got the PP Pen City Dad.
But to answer your question though, Tomato Ninja, I never heard anything about Broly's son. Have you heard anything, Jordan?
No, I have not. This is the first thing I'm heard of. Like, who would even bang Broly? I feel like Bulma would have a legendary knight, even though he came from future Trunks. Whatever.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that, dude. Alright, so let's see. Fox Game wants to know, since Vegeta is stronger than Goku, how will Goku surpass Vegeta in time? Well, theoretically, if Vegeta is stronger than him now, I mean, you could say Goku can go back into the Room of Spirit in Time or Hyperbolic Time Chamber again, or Goku can show a transformation that we really haven't seen. See, that's the thing about Vegeta. Like, whenever Vegeta surpasses Goku, there's always something that brings Goku back into relevance. So, like, when you think, Majin Vegeta was equal to Goku, if not maybe slightly stronger, Goku's like, the whole time I had Super Saiyan 3. So, this, like, Goku's always had something to put him over the edge, Jordan.
Yeah, like Kaioken. Yeah, because, like, remember, like, they were on par. Like, they trained 3 years together during the thing for the multiverse tournament, and so it was interesting. Like, you thought, well, these guys are probably exactly equal, like, Rocky and Apollo Creed, where, like, one of them could win to the other one. They both have the potential to be each other, but then Goku's like, oh no, I still got Kaioken. Yeah, and then, like, he pulled that out, and it's just like, oh shit, man. But it destroyed his body. So, like, this whole thing is probably going to be along the lines of, I was stronger than you now, but I'm going to lose it eventually somehow, because, Goku, like, when he sees Vegeta stronger than him, he's just going to train that much harder and smarter.
Yeah, that's just the way Dragon Ball always kind of does it. All right, so Icy wants to know, was it a plot hole when Vegeta blew up the time chamber? I remember that if you break the door, you're trapped in forever. All right, Jordan, I think you're the perfect person to talk about this, because we were just talking about this on the phone, so go ahead.
Well, okay, like, did he actually blow up the time chamber? Because I remember at the beginning of the episode, he was on Dende's lookout, and then he just blew up, and then he flew off somewhere. So did he actually do that, Qaaman?
Well, it was kind of implied, but here's the way I look at it. The way I look at it is that Vegeta, okay, obviously, if you blow up the door from inside, you can't get out unless you scream your way out, which Vegeta can do.
Yeah, he can.
But what I'm thinking he did is that I think Vegeta opened the door and just blasted himself out. So, like, as he's walking out, he's like, get this shit out of my way. And in the process of doing that, he either blasted his way out or he came out with such, I guess you could say, inconsistent, uncontrollable energy that it blew the chamber up. So those are my two theories. He came out blasting the door open from the inside, or my bigger theory that I think it makes a lot more sense is that Vegeta came out, his body wasn't completely, like, I guess you could say, rested, and just, like, blasted open, and I guess that little static effect of him exiting the chamber actually destroyed the actual lookout.
All right. Okay, well, that makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, that makes the most sense to me. All right, Bromide with that cool Zarbon-looking picture. If Vegeta and Nappa decided to go to Namek instead of Earth, is Nail strong enough to kill both of them? Well, yeah. I mean, the thing is, Nappa was like 4,000 to 5,000. Vegeta was 18. Nail was 42,000. So Nail could actually school them both at the same time. Nail is like probably around the strength of a Ginyu Force member, like a mid Ginyu Force member. Now, the thing is, though, I think that if Vegeta were to go Great Ape, which wouldn't be possible on Namek because of the whole moon. Well,
Three suns. Well, no, he can make his thing.
If he uses, like, I guess you could say, if he uses the artificial, like, moon technique, and generates enough Zeno to become a Great Ape, I think Vegeta could possibly do it. Maybe not so much Nappa. Nappa would probably be around equal to Nail, because if you multiply 4,000 by 10, that's like, what, 40,000. But, I mean, for Vegeta, yeah, he could probably beat Nail if he went Great Ape. All right, Jeffrey Wilson, how did the Egyptian god cards work in Yu-Gi-Oh! Card game? Big fan of the original series. It's funny you're asking me this. All right, so the way that the cards actually worked on the game is they were actually similar to the way they worked in the show, but they just had more limitations. So the way it worked is that Obelisk's effect, you had to sacrifice, the way it works is that when you sacrifice, like, monsters, like, it basically powers him up, and it also gives him the ability to pretty much destroy your monsters on your side of the field, from what I remember of Obelisk's effect. Slifer's effect was the same in the show, where his strength was pretty much correlated to how many cards you had. And the Winged Dragon of Ra was pretty much sacrifice X amount of life points to make that his attack power, and that's pretty much how strong he's gonna be. So that's
like Exodia or something.
Exodia was the
5
cards that when you just collect all 5, you automatically win. And there's some Yu-Gi-Oh decks that even till today they kind of built around Exodia. Those decks were always annoying because the whole point was just to draw cards and stall. All right. Let's see. Kevin Beaver, what's a guy got to do to get you to see his artwork in a thumbnail just so he can look at it and feel special? Hey, man, just inbox me, bro, if you ever want me to check it out. I really don't mind. All right. I'm gonna be nice because that wasn't really a question before. What if Goku and Vegeta use Gowasu's Potara and become Vegito, but end up looking completely different overall? I mean, if they look different, it's not really gonna change anything. I mean, they just look different. I mean, how would that really affect anything? They just be strong, but just a different appearance. What do you say?
Wouldn't you like still? Well, wouldn't they still like have the same thing? Like, what do the Potaras like make different fusions if you have different ones?
Well, I think he's just talking about if their appearance look different because possibly if they're possibly Super Saiyan Blues.
Oh, yeah. It'd just be like Vegeta with blue hair then.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like, I don't think it really makes a difference though. I mean, if you look at Vegito's clothes, right? Like Vegito's clothes. Okay, now in this case, Vegeta has a Saiyan armor suit, so it might look a little different.
Yeah.
But his appearance isn't really gonna change anything, so I don't think this has much to change.
Oh, okay. I understand what you're saying, man.
Yeah.
So you're saying like his suit would look different because okay, I got you, bro.
All right, Daniel Critchley, do you think Beerus has another form or Whis? No. What do you say?
I don't think so. I mean, like he's already OP of OP,
Yeah,
so I don't.
he's kind of already like it never was. I mean, if he does, there's no real hint to prove it. I mean, Whis is an angel, and Beerus is pretty much a god of destruction. We've never really heard anything about him having another form, so I wouldn't think so. All right, let's see here. When do you think fusion will be added to Dragon Ball Super? I want to say maybe 3 to 4 arcs later if we have that many left.
Well,
I
isn't
have to
it?
disagree. What do you say, Jordan?
Well, he said when's fusion gonna come back to it? Like, well,
Yeah.
if you saw the next episode preview, you saw like that's pretty much that like tells you right there, bro.
Yeah, exactly. So
So-
I don't know if DJ is probably caught up in the series, but yeah, bro. I mean, it's pretty much implied the next episode that we're gonna get it, and it's insanely implied that Vegeto's gonna be coming shortly afterwards. All right, so let's wrap it up with like maybe a few more here. Are the supporting characters being used enough in your opinion? Piccolo suggesting Mafuba, Bulma fixing Time Machine. In this arc, in terms of the minor characters trying to do something to help, like doing the little things like Roshi teaching Goku the Mafuba or Piccolo suggesting it or Bulma using the Time Machine or, you know, Mai always like coming in to save Trunks even though he's way stronger. Like, yeah, I think the supporting characters are doing okay in their realm. I'm just saying if you compare the supporting characters to like the Saiyan Saga or at least the Cell games, even if they were weaker than the Cell Juniors, they at least tried to fight. I'm just saying the show is not the same when the other characters can't even fight. I'm saying if you make them relevant in terms of at least fighting a little bit, it would make the show more cool as opposed to just making them do the little things. Jordan?
I agree completely because like what you were saying there, like this arc is probably the best arc of it because like even if they're not, you know, actually strong enough to fight, they're able to go, oh well, I know the Mafuba technique, you don't know that, I can teach you that. And that's the big thing I've always brought up with Dragon Ball. I really would have liked if they do more horizontal increases in power instead of vertical, because like a vertical just means all right, your power gets stronger, you get physically stronger, you power up, you're such a beast. But then like you should show more mastery of your skills and stuff like that. And while they show that with Super Saiyan Blue, they haven't really gone like, oh, well, now I'm learning these new techniques that are able to like make my fighting more proficient and all that jazz.
All right, so Anus Kuznetsov
Hitler.
with that Hitler picture.
Yeah.
Which character do you hate the most in Dragon Ball Z? I hate Hitler the most. As a matter of fact, if you go back to what was it,
Fusion Reborn.
Yeah, if you go back to Fusion Reborn and you saw that fucking the like ghost Nazis coming back and like wrecking havoc in the city, and then Hitler was super impressed with Goten and Trunks, I would have to say Hitler is my most disliked character in Dragon Ball Z. But in all seriousness, I would say Fat Boo.
You hate Fat Boo?
He's just fucking annoying, bro. I'm
Dude!
I'm gonna turn you into chocolate. Ow, ow, ow. I'm just
Oh
sick
my
of him.
God.
I never fucking liked Fat Boo, bro.
Really? Wow! But you do such a good voice.
He's annoying, bro. Yeah, and I do it in my playthroughs. But, bro, he's annoying, bro. I never fucking liked him, bro. Never.
Really? Okay, wow. Okay, for me...
Okay, first of all, he took away the seriousness of the show. He's always been annoying. He's not an interesting villain because he just is like an annoying fat kid that really just is... He's just rude. He's just a naughty villain. He's just annoying. There's just nothing interesting about him. I don't like Fat Boo, and I'm not the biggest fan of the Boo saga, but I mean I did like a lot of parts of it, and I think the best parts of the Boo saga was when Super Boo was around, and when Super Boo absorbed Gohan, and he absorbed Piccolo, and he absorbed Boo Tanks, and he became a lot smarter. That's when the Boo saga was at its peak, because we were dealing with a more cerebral Majin Buu as opposed to just a killing machine.
I like Kid Buu the best, but like if we can go by characters we hate, let me see. There's a few. Honestly, ever since that whole thing of like Goku never kissed Chi Chi came out, I forgive Chi Chi because I'm like, this poor woman is like one of the most sexually frustrated women in the whole series. Okay, like she lives with this freaking Greek god and she can't even make out with him whenever. So Chi Chi, I forgive you for all those years I like made fun of you, but I would have to say 3. All right, so Frieza really annoys me. I like he just kept coming back. Kid Trunks really just irked me. I love Laura Bailey, by the way, but I just hated Kid Trunks. And then the one I just absolutely cannot stand, but everyone loves, is freaking Mr. Satan Hercule. Like I honestly can't say. Like, I think the biggest issue with me is I hate when someone steals someone else's credit for something they did. Like, and what really pisses me off in the series is the fact that he got away with getting away with, and I know they always say like, oh, well, they're unsung heroes, but still, it just irked me that Gohan and Goku never got the credit for defeating Cell and Majin Buu. I know he got to, plow his daughter and all that jazz, but it really pissed me off that he couldn't get like any credit. Like, they should say, oh, Goku was the one who saved the planet, so you guys don't have to worry about it. And then like there's this whole thing in Dragon Ball Super. I'm sorry, I'm going on a tangent. There was this whole thing in Super where Hercule called the press to say, oh, I fought a freaking god of destruction, and this is why this happened. I'm like, that was not even necessary. That really was not even necessary, in my opinion.
I'll just sum up by reiterating real quick, Jordan. I just think that I agree with what you said about Hercule, but I do think he redeemed himself at the end of the Kid Buu arc by like actually trying to help out, and when he saved Vegeta. But we're kind of running a little low on time here for Twitter, so let's take these last 2 real quickly. Mr. Ninja Star, do you think we'll see Cabba's home planet in Super? I don't see why they wouldn't, because the story potential is just too high there, and I think the interest that Vegeta showed in the Universe 6 tournament, I don't know why he wouldn't do it. And for this one by Julio Diaz, do you believe Pan is going to have any significance in Super? If so, what? I mean, if she has significance, okay, guys, you gotta
she can fly in space.
Pan was a toddler at the end of Z, right? When she was flying around as like a 4-year-old toddler, she was super young. So, what is a baby / toddler gonna do to impact the story? Like, and I don't understand, like, unless Super eventually bypasses that whole timeline at the end of Z and just kind of openly rewrites the whole GT point in time, what can you expect out of a baby or a toddler? Like, I just don't know what they could do except for add some side humor to really add to the story. Jordan?
Yeah, exactly. It's just probably going to be filler. Just like some interest. I will say this, like, I have a thing for seeing adorable baby Pan and just hanging with Goku.
Jordan,
is like,
you're going to get me some pedophilia comments now.
Not like that, you weirdos, okay? Like, she's just an adorable little kid, and a freaking dad, like, taking care of her daughter. Like, I think that's just genuinely sweet. But it's one of those things. And then the fact she flew up into space. But
you remember that, Jordan, when she flew in with the Pilaf gang?
Yeah, exactly. They all should have died. So it's one of those things. But I was just see some nice slice of life filler, because I always enjoy slice of life filler in these shows.
All right, so we're gonna move on to Ask FM for the next few minutes here. So just give us 1 second. Alrighty, guys, so we are back with Ask FM. We're going to take some more questions here. These aren't as long and in-depth, so we're going to go a little bit faster now. So the first question is, post a picture of an inspirational meme. Don't got time for that. Do you think the possible spread of radiation into the U.S. from the 2011 Japanese earthquake is cause for concern? I didn't really know anything about this radiation thing, so I don't know what to say. Jordan?
No, I had no idea. Was Godzilla coming? What?
I don't know what this guy's talking about. All right, Jordan, I would really like it if you read this next one out loud. Very, very, very loud, please. All right. Oh, Jordan, could you please read the next one, too?
All right. Okay, go.
As a matter of fact, read all of these Ask FM ones.
Okay, sure. No problem. Why do you look so chocolatey?
Well, I can explain this in very, very vulgar terms, so hear me out. I have dark skin because two people of African descent fucked each other a lot. They fucked each other so much that eventually I was a sperm in my dad's ball sack, and I traveled from my dad's ball sack to fertilize in my mom's egg. And because I am the son of two people who have darker skin pigmentation, I generated those genes, and I have dark skin pigmentation. So two niggas fucked, and I was the end product of two niggas fucking each other, alright? That's why I look so chocolatey. Jordan, would you like to explain it for yourself, because you also have the chocolate gene?
Well, you see, I am not of the chocolate gene as much as I am of the caramel gene, because if you look at my skin tone, it is light, bright, and 2 shades from being white, which means I'm always right. So take that, Qaaman. That's so wrong. Right. I'm sorry, I'm messing. All right, next one. All right. Why hasn't Goku used Kaioken against Black and Zamasu? Is it plot or just Goku stupidity?
Well, what do you think here, bro?
I think it's one of those things where he realized how much it taxed his body. Because remember, it messed up his ki for a few days. Like, he couldn't do anything. But, like, remember, like, that was, like, the whole plot point of the episode. Like, it messed up his body so much, like, he couldn't control his ki properly. So I think that's probably why he hasn't done it. Though I was a bit shocked he didn't use it when he found out, you know, Black killed his family. Like, I would have, like, freaking Kaioken times 100 of that mother ether just to destroy him.
Exactly, and remember, I mean, Black's immortality is not as spoken of as Zamasu's, even though they're technically the same person. But the thing I should tell you about Black is that you really can only kill him. Zamasu, he's immortal, so I mean, how do you really stop him? All right, take the next one, Jordan. I think I want to hear you read this.
DBZ, would you suck the Omni King dick every day because if you didn't, he was gonna torture you every day forever, even when you did?
I wouldn't. I mean, no, I wouldn't do it. I don't really know how to answer this, bro.
Well, it's like if you die, he can just bring you back from dead. He's fucking God.
All right, keep going, bro.
Earth isn't your salad bar.
You're the fitness guy, Jordan.
Earth isn't your salad. Well, yeah, it kind of is. It's just made of water and grass. What the hell? It's just like, what the hell even is this question? But okay.
DBZ, would you suck the Omni King?
I think that's the same thing.
We already did this one. All right. Will you take the next one?
Will you do a "Does Goku really care about Gohan" video?
I don't think that's necessary. I mean, it's kind of obvious, right?
Yeah, it is. He's like shows he cares. He's just got like stuff to do, and Gohan's a man.
He's dead half the time.
Exactly. All right. Do you think Zeno and Daishinkan are all above timelines? There is no Zeno or Daishinkan from the future or past. That what they are and their plan is not effective by time. If so, that would explain why Zeno did not do anything in Trunks' future. Too many timelines to oversee. He doesn't know, but he's God.
I completely disagree with this, but I do think this guy has a solid argument. I do think that timelines have nothing to do with you existing in all of them. You know, a timeline is you're creating another piece of history. You're not like I think that people got to understand Dragon Ball time travel is not like other time travel genres where like I disappear if I kill myself as a baby. And like this is going to sound super graphic and crazy, but if I go back in time and I kill my parents before I was born, right?
Right.
I am not going to exist in that universe, but that doesn't mean that in 2016 I'm dead. That just means that history, I created a new history block where the events of that life, you know, in the 1990s, from here on up, they're not going to live in a world with me. But I'm already here in this timeline. That's kind of how it works in Dragon Ball. So just because of going back in time, that doesn't do anything to Zeno. Zeno always existed. It's just that Zeno's gonna have a slightly different experience in every different timeline. Hell, I mean, look at it from the main timeline's perspective. In the main timeline, I mean, Zeno exists. Are you saying Zeno didn't have a different experience in the future Trunks timeline or the unseen timeline? You want to know the proof? The proof is in the pudding. Zeno met Goku in the main timeline because of the Universe 6 tournament. In these other timelines, that stuff probably never happened, so Zeno wouldn't do it. So the mere fact that Zeno visited Goku in the main timeline, but he did not visit them in those other timelines, pretty much confirms with absolute certainty that Zeno must not have existed in the same fashion in the other timelines. I think that answers the question.
Completely.
That could be a good featured question.
Yeah, it could be. That could be. All right, let's see. In the movie Resurrection of F, we see Vegeta's brothers Tarbles. Do you think that Akira Toriyama has any interest in bringing him in the storyline? I feel it would be cool if him and Oob were training in some future episode, since they are both having made brief appearances during the saga. I don't think we saw Tarble in Resurrection of F, did we?
No, but they mentioned him.
Oh yeah, they did. Well, I thought they mentioned
No,
him.
they mentioned him in Battle of Gods. Battle of Gods.
Yeah.
You're right. I screwed up. Yeah, Battle of Gods, because they wanted to know like if they could get another Saiyan to like
make a Super
participate for like
God.
the Super Saiyan God thing.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So there. That answers that. Who is the strongest DBZ character that can't fly?
Let's try to make this our last one here. What do you say, Jordan?
The strongest DBZ character that can't fly. Probably Master Roshi.
Can Botamo fly?
I think he can. I think like flight just becomes one of those things that everyone can do in the like. That's just an assumption. Like Master Roshi, for all I know, could probably just hop up, because in the video games they made it seem like, oh, he can't fly, but he can jump really good and stuff like that. Even though like he's a master of martial arts and ki and all that jazz, so he should easily be able to learn how to fly like way faster than did.
Don't remember Botamo flying though. Like, I'm actually trying to think, like, this is a good question to close off with, because I'm really thinking here, like, what is the strongest Dragon Ball character that cannot fly? Can Fat Janemba fly?
Man, well, did he have any reason to fly? He could teleport.
I'm just thinking, I'm literally going through movies, I'm going through the series. In the series, I mean, who would be the strongest character that can't fly? I mean, okay, if we're
the drum fly?
I mean, okay, if we're going by like up to Super, I would probably have to say Botamo, because I don't remember him flying. And I remember there was something that motivated me in my head that he couldn't fly. I don't remember what it was, but there was something specific about Botamo, and I'm going to go check afterwards to confirm this. I'm very certain that there was something that implied that he couldn't fly. Or like motivated me to think this, because so off the top of my head, I would probably say Botamo. Goten at one point didn't know how to fly.
Yeah, and he was a Super Saiyan too.
Yeah, so Botamo is my pick right now.
Okay, well for me, I would probably say Master Roshi, since he is still alive, and because you could say like Drum as well, because I don't think Drum could fly. And then
Yeah, well, if you go to Dragon Ball GT, could the electric Shadow Dragon Rage?
I think all the dragons could fly because they're dragons.
Yeah, well, that would kind of make sense, yeah, because they're dragons. So that's actually a retarded response that I said. Yeah, I'm trying to think here, bro. Like, I'm squeezing out everything I got. In GT, I'm thinking of all the characters. I mean, Great Ape Goku?
He could fly, though.
Yeah,
like, he has the potential to fly.
But
in Dragon Ball's... Okay, I'll put it to you like this. In Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi, the Great Apes can fly.
Yeah, I know that. I'm just trying to think who... I'm going through Ball to GT to Super everything. I'm thinking of every character. I can't think of one off the top of my head that's extremely comparable to these characters that can't fly. The closest that comes to my mind is Botamo. So my pick is Botamo. Who's your pick?
Master Roshi.
All right.
Because I'm not sure. Because I think once you get to a certain point, everyone can fly. Like, it's just one of those things. But, okay, like, again, this is the thing.
Yeah. And Jocko uses his boots. And I wouldn't really put him in this conversation. All right. So guys, I think this has been a very interesting question. I think I'm going to make that my featured question for today. Who's the strongest Dragon Ball character that can't fly? I really can't think of any besides maybe Botamo, and I have to double check on that and see if he really can. Because I remember he was bouncing up and down for a reason because he couldn't fly. That's why I was thinking of Botamo. But I want to hear your thoughts in the comment section, guys. Who's the strongest character that can't fly? And I appreciate Jordan for hopping on this Q&A with me. So please remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. And remember, as I always say, to have a great day, guys.